Are you ready to get philosophical?
I fucking love this shit.
Beautiful listeners, you are worth all the stars in the sky.
Hell yeah.
And at least 2 perfectly cooked grilled cheeses.
Hell yeah. Does a bear shit in the woods?
Sometimes. He's been known to shit in a liquor tent. Yeah, pick up a book, losers.
Pick up a book, losers.
Welcome to the Based Banter Podcast.
Welcome to another amazing episode of the Based Banter Podcast. My name is Joey, and I will be your host today. With me, as always, is my co-host, Jerry, and today we have an awesome, amazing, and thought-provoking topic for you that might be a little bit controversial. But before we get into that, let me just say thank you guys for listening, and we are recording this on Christmas Eve, so Merry motherfucking Christmas to all you filthy animals out there.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Jerry, how you been, man? What you been up to?
I have been amazing. I have done zero shopping because nobody gets shit, because that's just how I feel, man. Consumerism, I'm anti-consumerism. And you know what is more consumerism than anything? That's the thought of giving.
He's just Mr. fucking, what's his name?
Scrooge?
Scrooge McDuck.
I find it funny that the Grinch was supposed to be the embodiment of, like, anti-consumerism. And now you got his face on every fucking thing, and people are just aligning with him.
Right, and then his heart grew 3 sizes that day, and then he died.
And then he died, because that's not how hearts work.
No, man, that's something.
That is something. But you know what? I own it.
That's cool, man. Hey, at least you weren't a part of this Christmas rush, dude. I've been out there. I've been in the thick of it. I've been out there in the trenches,
you
buddy.
Were elbowing people, trying to get through the lines. He was like, no, I'm gotta check out. And then he's like, no, I saw that He-Man figure. I'm gonna go pick that sucker up.
The fuck, you stuck in the 1980s, dude? Nobody's buying He-Man.
He-Man ain't even on the shelves.
No, dude, I was knee-deep in the consumerism, whatever the word was.
Okay, buddy.
I was in it, dude, and I
sounds like a sticky situation.
It was a shitty situation, dude. There's so many people out, like why is everybody doing it like me last minute? Like, come on, y'all need.
Why
to
are
get
you
with
doing
it
it last minute? Hold on. Introspective. Why are you doing it last minute, buddy?
Because I am the pro. I put the pro in procrastination.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah, that's what I've been up to. I've been Christmas shopping. I just finished the Dungeon Crawler Carl series on Audible.
What's that?
I think at this point, our listeners might have caught on a little bit as far as something that I have been indulging in on my pastimes. It's that little novel we've been talking about.
But if for some reason this is the first episode that you have listened to,
okay, fine.
Then Dungeon Crawler Carl is a novel. It is not a novel. It is a series.
It's a series.
It's a cartoon. It's a Nettoon. It's a anime.
And it will be a live action soon, hopefully.
One of us speaks in riddles and the other speaks in lies.
You're right, because it might get canceled. But yeah, it's coming out eventually, and it will be produced by I think it's Universal International Studios and the Fuzzy Door Studios. That is Seth MacFarlane's company. And they've picked up Dungeon Crawler Carl, and they're running with that shit, dude. So hopefully they do it some justice.
Yes, sir. And if they don't, we fucking riot.
We riot, boy. We tear the whole place down. Because, dude, I'm telling you, Dungeon Crawler Carl has taken a spot in my heart, and it has become my #1 favorite book series of all time.
I believe it won Book of the Year this year by like Books A Million or somewhere.
That's amazing, and I'm not surprised.
I'm glad that it's getting the recognition it deserves, man, because that is an excellent show,
dude.
Series.
There's something about
should be a show.
There. So if you listen to the Immersion Tunnel on Sound Booth Theater's app and their website,
shout out.
They actually do like sound effects, music. It's immersive. It makes the whole Audible experience feel like you're listening to a real life movie in your head. So yeah, man, it's super special. It's great. And here's the interesting thing about that. I know we're gonna dive deep into this, but like the one thing that I've caught on to when I indulge in like consuming things, right?
You
consumer.
I
am a consumer. I'm a filthy little consumer. But the things that stick out to me are these, like, you can tell when you consume something that's going to become part of pop culture. It's going to become part of like mainstream shit. Right? When I discovered Demon Slayer, it was only season 1. It had just came out a week into its inception. People who were onto the manga were already hyping it up. Then all of a sudden, the anime becomes a huge thing. Now it's the biggest anime blockbuster hit in the world.
So for our listeners, if you know something that you have seen way beforehand, and then you get that hipster right to be like, I knew it before it was cool.
I'm gatekeeping, bro.
Dude, definitely comments. But I have one myself.
Yeah.
Dude, I got to see Sleep Token before they blew up.
Hell yeah.
And I knew they was going to be fucking huge. And now you can't get tickets at all because they're fucking huge.
Dude, my brother did the same.
He got huge. Now you can't get his tickets either.
No, he called out back in like 2001 or some shit. He was like, dude, John Cena is going to be the next big thing. And this is back before Thugonomics was really like a big deal. This was before United States heavyweight champion John Cena. And he was like, dude, no, John Cena's going to be the shit.
Before he introduced the spinner belts.
And we were all like, dude, fuck John Cena.
John Cena's a
But
bitch.
Dude, guess what? He's the motherfucking Michael Jordan of professional wrestling.
Look, if you have not had the chance, go watch our episode on John Cena. We covered him, maybe not thoroughly, but we covered the topic of John Cena. The phenomenon that is. But
yes,
that's awesome. And so he was able to predict something like that. How do you think he knew it was? Or was we just so blinded by the kayfabe?
I think that, again, it's something that I recognize within myself as pattern recognition. One, it's recognizing how others receive and interpret information and spread information. Word of mouth is more powerful than anything. People say the pen is mightier than the sword. I think word of mouth is mightier than both.
I don't know. Have you ever been stabbed by a sword before?
No, but I have had some hurtful words.
Cry about it. No, you're for real though.
No, yeah.
Did you say like a BB head?
Anyways, that was a traumatic experience. We won't touch on that. But I digress. That's kind of what I've been hyped up about, man, and I'm super excited for it and cannot wait to keep you guys up to date on what's going to happen with that. And with that being said,
what's the topic,
would
buddy?
Love to dive into this topic for you today. And I think that it is fitting because on this podcast, every single episode we do, we have a mixed cocktail, or we're drinking a beer, or we're drinking some wine. We love to indulge, and we love to have a little bit of social lubrication. We love to partake in a centuries, millenniums aged long practice of having a drink of some good old spirits.
Of underage
good
drinking.
Old alcohol. What the fuck?
I just turned 18.
Yeah, I'm not supporting this message, though I did start drinking at like 16 or 15. I don't recommend it. Anyways.
So let's start at the very beginning, buddy. Let me tell you my story about how I started drinking.
Sure.
Because I don't condone.
What was your first drink like?
Dude, I don't condone underage drinking.
I don't either, but they're gonna do it. That's the thing, right?
If you have such a culture in your household, it may be a thing that happens to where you do it in an act of rebellion. That's how I did mine, so to speak. Where I rebelled, I stole a bottle of Slow Gin, and I was like, "Well, Slow Gin's hard to drink." Slow Gin, which is made from sloe berries, it's really hard to drink. It's like cough medicine.
Oof.
And so then me and my teenage brain, I'm like, well, what can I do to make this a little bit easier to drink? So I mixed it with Kool-Aid.
Oh, hell yeah.
So Kool-Aid and Slow Gin, I got wasted, and then I called up all the people I knew that would answer and told them I was drunk, I was drinking, and I made a fool of myself. And I think ever since then, man, I realized that I was a very social drinker. So whenever I have a drink, man, I really love to talk and connect with people.
Hell yeah.
And that's really cool about drinking too, right? So before I want to go into that though, buddy.
Well, let me tell you my story.
Yeah, buddy, tell me your story.
All right, so mine's not as cool.
It is. We'll make it cool.
Me and my friend, we had talked about being straight edge. We was like, we're never going to drink. My father was an alcoholic. He would be like the abusive kind of alcoholic who would like punch holes in the wall, threaten to kill my mother and I, drink every single day, pissing drunk, passing out, piss on himself. The kind of alcoholic that was like real toxic. So my friend and I was like, we're never touching that shit. But one day we met this girl, and this girl was like, I got some Smirnoff vodka. And
Shout out Smirnoff.
And she brought it in a water bottle one day after school. And she was like, you want some? And guess what, buddy? I had some, and that was the dawn of my alcoholic.
And then a dragon flew over, and you realized you were dragonborn. Dude, what an interesting story, brother.
No, but like after that, my friend was like really disappointed in me, and then eventually he got drunk too, and then like so we was all drinking.
He was like, "Yeah, well, it's equal footing now, isn't it? You fucking drunk."
So those are our stories. Again, hey, just about everyone has had some kind of like exposure at a young age with alcohol, because alcohol is everywhere. It's in pop culture. It's in our history. It's even ingrained into our DNA. We even evolved to be able to metabolize alcohol millions of years ago, right?
Okay, tell me about that.
And you were
I know you did some research, because we talked a little bit before about this.
Well, I do have something pulled up here that I think is interesting, and because we were talking a little bit about underage drinking.
He's got notes.
Did you know that currently in America there are some states that allow you to drink underage with parents around you?
That makes sense, because you got to think there are a bunch of countries outside the U.S. that allow like some drinks.
Right.
And we're talking more so of like wine at dinner.
Right.
And wine has a way lower like alcohol percentage than liquor. Liquor is...
Right. Yeah, so you can go to Alaska, Texas, Washington, Colorado, Maryland, Montana, Wisconsin, and Louisiana and get your child fucking lit.
He's got all the states. So if you, a parent, want to get your kid drunk to see what kind of asshole they will become, any one of those states will be just fine for you.
But back to the millions of year old metabolizing of alcohol.
Okay, so
we have to first, let's take it back, right? We're all the way back. We're
lizards. We're lizards. We're skating around. Oh, look, what's this? Hands, posable thumbs. We're no longer lizards.
God.
All right, what happens next?
No, I have taxes. I have to pay taxes.
Oh, shit. Who do I complain to about this?
Before there was alcohol.
Before there was tax.
Before there was God, there was taxes. No, but...
That sounds about right.
But here's the thing, man. So many archaeologists believe that the invention of beer actually preceded the invention of bread. So beer goes back even farther than bread.
Dude, I wonder if by the sheer circumstance of accidents and just like letting shit be, if beer was actually easier to make than bread.
Maybe.
Because bread, you've got to like let it rise and all that stuff, and then bake it, and then it comes out fluffy. But beer and alcohol, like fermented, that's got to be easier to let happen, right? What do
Right, you
think?
just leave shit alone, and then it just fucking rots and makes the shit, right?
Like yeast and sugar.
Yeast, like rice,
Yeast and sugar.
and fruit, even,
And John's.
And John Cena.
But it's got to be amazing to think that somebody who had no like cultural idea, somebody who had never heard of like the idea of alcohol, somehow ended up in this like inebriated state, and then all of a sudden, bam,
boom, drunk.
you're fucking drunk.
You're just starving to death, right? You're fucking hungry. You haven't eaten in 3 days, and you're fucking crawling on your hands and knees on the forest floor, and you're just digging up bugs and shit, and you happen to find this rotten fruit, and you're like, fuck it, dude, I'm gonna eat that shit. And you eat it, dude, and then you start feeling.
And you're just like, man, shit ain't that bad.
Shit ain't that bad, bro. And then you start talking about everything. You're like, have you ever looked at the stars, man?
Dude,
Like,
you
the
ever
stars
just
are
fucking looked
great.
out and peered out into that fucking darkness and think that there could be a panther there, but he's fucking not, because guess what? I'm still standing here 10 toes tall, homie.
What about that saber-toothed tiger over there, man? I'm gonna pet that cat. Man.
Bam. And that was alcohol's first influence.
That was alcohol's first influence. But dude, alcohol has a lot of other applications other than just getting you fucking lit and being social.
It cleans shit.
It was used as a cleaner. It's even used as a medicine. I mean, you've heard of gin and tonic, right? Like the British officers in India, they had to take like a ton of it to prevent malaria. So
What's malaria?
That's
We
what
wouldn't know because there's
mosquitoes give.
vaccines to that shit, right?
Now there is. Back in the day, it wasn't a thing. Dude, they would give babies whiskey and honey to help like solve colds and fevers.
Dude, that's how I lost my firstborn. That's a dark fucking joke. I'm so sorry.
Well. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay.
But I've heard of such a thing where they would be teething, and you would take like a little bit of brandy and like rub it on your finger, and then just like coat the roof of their mouth where there's like teething ants.
And of course, you've heard of the whole stories about how, in the olden days, the water was toxic, so people would often drink mead and wine and beer, and they would get drunk instead of hydrating with water.
Right.
Because it was safer.
It was safer. So if you was starting to feel a buzz, instead of feeling your intestines rumble, then you knew it was safe to drink.
And then the town drunk, right? The dude who drank all the time. Yeah. He stayed drunk.
Yeah.
The guy who was always drunk off his ass, never bathed, never did shit, had no future.
He did shit. He shat a lot.
He shat a lot. Shat on himself several times. Yeah, man. That was part of the whole upbringing of the culture behind alcohol.
So let me ask you.
Look, this is
buddy.
not going to be like, we're not going to paint it in this great light, okay?
It's not as glorified as you want to make it out to be.
It's kind of dark, really.
It's pretty dark because
it's pretty dark.
I'm sure there are listeners that listen to this that know the dark sides of it, to where they have seen somebody drink.
Sure.
And then they become a person that they don't like.
Right. And I'm like that with different alcohols, but I never get to a point where I'm like a toxic person, right? I just get different vibes off of different alcohols. Like vodka gives me a different energy. Whiskey gives me a different energy. Beer gives me a different energy. And it's to that point now where like I drink it all, man. Wine, beer, liquor. It doesn't fucking matter. Do I have a problem? Maybe.
Hey, a problem would be indicative of, hardship. I think you drink pretty good, don't you?
Well, just depends what you would consider healthy versus what gets in the way of productivity. And, is it good or bad for you, right?
Well, we won't hear that from you because you can't complain whenever you are blackout, passed out.
I need to get that way first. My question here is, how much alcohol does it take to literally rewrite our future and the history all at the same time? We're gonna feed
deep. Okay,
AI some alcohol, and we're gonna see.
We're
what
gonna
fucking
run
happens.
AI off of alcohol, and we're gonna get that motherfucker drunk, and we're gonna hear the real true thoughts of AI.
I want a remote view, drunk off my ass, and see what happens. Nah, man, I think that, but before we get to the full takeaway, I want to go ahead and kind of like foreshadow the takeaway before we even head into some of the nitty gritty about some of this shit. But I do think there is a positive takeaway from the topic of alcohol. And, I believe that, like everything, most of it is a tool that can be used to benefit you in some type of way. Like how we do over here on the Based Banter podcast, we use alcohol as like a social lubricant. And, by that 3rd episode, buddy, by that Patreon episode, that's when the magic is made. That's when the glorious behavior comes out. That's when the veil is lifted and the spirits run wild, brother. And Hulkamania and Macho Man Randy Savage comes out of you. And that's when you start singing, and that's when everyone's just having a good time.
We have this hidden talent of improv songs to where if there's music playing, we will give you the best song imaginable in that moment.
Yeah.
And you know what? That only happens on Patreon because there is a bit of a stigma against acting out like that on something we want to present to people.
Right. And I think there is a fair bit of censorship with like content, right? If you're a content creator, be it on like Twitch or TikTok or YouTube, they don't allow the advocation of alcohol consumption, right?
That makes sense because you don't want to glorify it.
Right.
And that was something that we had already touched on, is that there is a very dark side of it to where some people will drink, lose their mind, and start abusing their families.
Yes, which, I've lived through that personally myself, as I mentioned earlier, and if I could give my father a magic pill to make him stop drinking, to see what kind of man he could truly be, I would do that, right?
That's so fucking sad.
I would
man.
like to see his potential, but this man
downer,
is...
Dude. I'm so sorry for you, dude.
He's so stuck in his own depression that he copes using alcohol. Because what is alcohol doing? First of all...
Okay, let's get into it. What is the nitty gritty? What does alcohol do for you?
Nitty fucking gritty.
Do the gritty.
So, do the gritty. All right, the gritty is it's causing a release of chemicals in your brain. You're getting serotonin, you're getting dopamine, you're getting that rush of adrenaline, you're getting a lighter blood flow. You're getting the overwhelming feeling of feeling good.
Euphoria.
You
baby. Can feel euphoric sometimes.
And that's part of the whole thing about like trying to mask your issues and hide your depression and solve your problems by drinking them away. You go through a bad breakup in a relationship, usually you turn to booze. You lose, your home, your family, you turn to booze. Someone passes in your life, you turn to booze. Why? Because the bottle is always there.
It can be a coping strategy. I won't speak to the efficacy of it, but it is a coping strategy because you know what? You don't have to deal with anything.
Sure.
If you are shit-faced drunk to the point past of recognizing reality.
Yes.
Does that make... Just like fathom that for a second. Think, okay, you can get so drunk to the point to where reality doesn't even seem like it is reality.
It quiets the noise in your head. It takes those thoughts and you can't think about them. You're not even physically capable of it. And you begin to let go, if only for a moment, of all of your troubles.
Release your inhibitions.
Feel the alcohol in your blood.
Get so drunk that you can't stand.
Yeah, so
that's it.
That's the point. That's what the goal is, right? So
to release those inhibitions. Because, okay, there is the other side of it, too, to where people will drink and it helps them feel like their selves.
yeah.
Speaking for me personally, where I like to drink and it makes me way more social, it releases those inhibitions to where, like, those things that hold me back, and I'm just like, you know what? What's stopping me from complimenting this person's hat? Dude, that hat's cool as fuck. Hey, your hat's cool as shit, dude. And they're just like, oh, hell yeah, man. I got this from blah, blah, blah. And it starts a conversation. And then before you know it too long, we're in a Instagram group chat. And, I mean, dude, I feel like there are... So, you got to balance it. I don't think alcohol is for everybody. If you don't have good emotional coping strategies, if you use alcohol as a cope, if you use it as something you hide behind... Buddy, you're going to be in for a bad time because whenever you're sober, man, that's whenever you feel everything.
Yes, the highs are high and the lows are low. Mm-hmm. And the negative side effects are terrible, right? You've heard of whiskey dick, right? It's when you've had too much whiskey, your dick just stops working. And you don't want to find yourself in that position. There's nothing more low than the feeling of not being able to keep it up for the woman that you love or the woman you're trying to love for the night. And
that was very eloquently said.
Because
good job, buddy.
It sucks, man. It's a terrible feeling. I felt it myself. I know many men have. It's one of those things where you think, by the idea of it releasing your inhibitions, the loosening of your vasal canals and your blood flow getting better, that you would think that it would make everything better. And it does for certain alcohols, but then sometimes you end up in a position where those negative side effects hit and you regret everything you've ever done in your life. Then you have the hangover. When you wake up the next day and you're like, fuck, I feel like I was poisoned last night. Because you was.
See, what a hangover tells me is that you did not do enough preparation.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got to think, man. You just got to look at it as it is.
Pre-game.
Don't pre-game and don't game. No. We got to think of what it is because, as we said, it is kind of like a poison. It is something that goes into your body and it will dehydrate you. And if you just ignore it and just like, oh, well, all right, I ate today, I'm going to drink today now. Well, you're going to be in for a bad time come the morning because you know what? Your body is not going to agree with that statement. So you have to listen to those very subtle ask where your body is asking, it's requesting. It's like, you know what? We are getting a little dehydrated here.
There are some tricks too, man. Like there's those liquid IV packets you can get that are packed with electrolytes that will help rapidly hydrate you. I mean, even celebrities actually do IV drips the next day after having a bender of alcohol the night before.
Well, all of us can't afford a lobotomist. But
a self-lobotomist.
So for all of my overage drinkers,
80-year-old motherfuckers,
drinkers that are either curious or don't know, I have figured it out and I have broken it down. I've got the secret.
He's got the code.
I've got the code. So let me tell you this. Whenever you are drinking a proper amount of alcohol, there's only one way. There's only one way to prevent. Next card, please. Hangover. And that is proper hydration, buddy. Don't you fucking know that proper hydration is the only way? So an ounce of cure is worth whatever in prevention. You've heard that before?
20 ounces.
Yeah, it's
We're
something
making numbers
like
up, but do it.
So the prevention is so much more important because, dude, whenever you are in that status of hangover, it's too late.
Too late.
You're going to feel hangover and you are going to not enjoy it. But there's definitely some ways. So there are some miracle foods that you could eat One of them being cucumbers.
Cucumbers
Are amazingly hydrating.
Okay.
As bland and blah as they are.
I'd rather just have the hangover, honestly.
Some people rather would, buddy.
Maybe a pickle. A pickle wouldn't be bad. I fuck with it. Yeah, man.
It's very salty.
I think that proper planning before a night of binge drinking will help.
Binge?
Will help. I don't know any other way.
He doesn't. Let me tell you. So I have seen this guy down. This is a false story. I have seen this guy down a gallon of vodka in 2 minutes and be like, bro, that was water.
First of all, there is a true story here.
It was actually water.
I don't throw up a lot from drinking alcohol.
But whenever he does,
I drink
it's
a
like
lot.
The Exorcist. And it's going to go all over the walls, and he's going to be like, I got to go. And he's not going to help clean it up.
But, hey, it happens. It happens sometimes, man. I'll tell you what I've never done.
That's a fucking joke. For everybody who doesn't pick up on good social cues, I'm just fucking with y'all.
I'm not denying it. But I've never pissed myself. I will say that. Not one time have I ever pissed myself being drunk. I'm proud of that.
Well, the good news.
I'm proud of that.
The good news is I've pissed you for you. So
that's good. I woke up with piss on me, but it wasn't mine.
Yeah, I pissed you for you, buddy.
That's what matters.
Dude, what are friends for?
Right. You gotta have somebody piss you for you. You can't piss yourself.
If you aren't gonna piss yourself, somebody has to piss you.
Yes. Just that's how it goes. That's the rule of drinking, kids. If you're listening to this, remember that. You can't get drunk without somebody pissing you.
No, here is a real solidified rule that you do not fall asleep under no circumstances with your shoes on.
Ever. Dude,
Ever.
That's terrible. That's bad luck.
That is terrible. So if you are at any sort of function, any sort of gathering, do not fall asleep with your shoes on, because that just gives them the key. They got the key to fuck with you. And you know what? You're going to wake up at the bare minimum, with a dick drawn on your face. And nobody going to say nothing about it.
Yeah, you're going to wake up in a cemetery, bro, 3 miles from the actual original party. And you're like, why the fuck am I here, dude? That's a good night, honestly. Solid night.
It was a good night, but you know what? You got to be responsible. And that is one of the biggest takeaways.
Okay, hold on. Now that we're talking about some fun stories, I want to ask you what story comes to mind? What's a good drinking story that comes to your mind? First, right off the dome.
Good drinking story. That's what we do it for, isn't it, buddy?
Yeah.
We do it for the stories.
Oh, yeah.
And the experiences.
Experience, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, pop the brain aneurysm, yeah.
But no, I have a few good stories, and none of them really stick out as the top on the one that I would like to mention the most.
Give us the most unique drinking story that you have. Something that would be different from anybody else's drinking story. I know that's kind of like an on-the-spot kind of question without any kind of like planning, any kind of like forethought. Like, what am I going to say?
I'm going to go against that. I'm going to tell you the most stereotypical story I ever had.
Sure.
So, one time I went out to see this all-girl Japanese band. And I had never listened to them beforehand, but I saw they was playing in town. This is similar sort of something that we have, where we ended up watching this Korean girl band. But there was this Japanese band that was playing at this sort of small venue. And I'm like, okay, well, I like this venue. I like the people. I'm going to show up and I'm going to go out. And I show up there and I get obliterated. I may have drank way too many Guinnesses. That's my drink of choice. I love a good Guinness, and a lot of places, if they have them, oh yeah, get you a Guinness. But I went out there and I made a lot of connections. I made friends that I still talk to this day. One of the buddies I made, he was a bouncer, and he was somebody who stood outside. So then in between sets, I'd go out. Me and him would talk about really deep philosophical stuff. And he's like, man, I don't really ever get to talk about this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, isn't it great? Bonding moments. And after that, I made a friend who was from out of town. And we was like, okay, well, you ready to go back to your hotel? Like, what are you about to do? He's like, man, I ain't ready to retire. And I'm like, dude, I know the bar. You're going to love this bartender. This bartender's fucking amazing. So then what do you know? We go to this bar, and I introduce him to this bartender. They start hitting it off. And one of the other bartenders come up. They close out their shift. And we all just had an amazing freaking time. And it was just a legendary night, man. Legendary, like through and through. And then I went home and I'm like, dude, that felt amazing. That's one of my favorite drinking stories. It isn't it doesn't have a lot of conflict, because you know what? I'm somebody who does not like the conflict. That does not like the drama, dude. I love whenever a night goes. Well, that's all the time I have for it. Thank you for listening to the Based Banter podcast today. But no, dude, if you look at me personally, that is what I fucking love.
He's a social butterfly.
Dude, I love making social connections. I love going out and making friends. And that night, through drinking and the sheer courage that it gives you, dude, I made a bunch of friends and had an excellent social time. So, with that said, buddy, what about you? What is your craziest, most unique drinking story that you have?
So I know the craziest and the most unique one that I have, but I don't know how appropriate it is to talk about.
How old were you?
Oh, I was at least 25.
Okay, so you're good. You got the green light.
I got the green light, but the content is a bit adulterated. Okay, because I mean, like, I don't know, what's a good drinking story without a little bit of
debauchery,
a debaucher activity? You know what I'm saying, man? All right, so
okay, I'm ready.
Okay, God, this is something I've never talked about with many people, and
you're gonna share it for all of the Based Banter listeners.
This is
not to put you on the spot, but we're all excited.
I'm not gonna mention any names because I don't want these girls to be talked about or.
Actually, don't. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so
X, Y, and Z.
I was partying with these girls.
X, Y, and Z.
It was actually these two sisters, and we ended up getting extra inebriated, and I ended up hooking up with both of them at the same time.
Okay.
And it was two sisters, and throughout the night, you know, I'm drunk off my ass. I just remember...
Dude, Whiskey Dick is afraid of you.
Not anymore, man. Again, I was 25, raring and ready to go.
He was doing it.
The experience was amazing. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
If you have the means to do it, he recommends you do it.
You know, I've found myself in a couple situations like that. There was another one very similar to that.
Okay, Mr. Braggart.
Anyways,
shut the fuck up. Tell us your story.
Anyways, I hooked up with both of them, and I ended up dating both of them.
At the same
time. I would end up taking one home, dropping them. They lived together. I would drop one off, pick the other one up, take them back to my place, take them back home, drop them off, pick the other one up, take them home, and then I would take them both out on dates. And then
they would get jealous.
They would get jealous, actually, yes. And I had to have...
I've heard the story, so I already know.
I had to have 2 jobs. I had to work 2 full-time jobs just to pay for these 2 fucking bitches. And
because that's what they was.
Absolutely. But that, to me, I think is the craziest... Because every other story that I have is just like me getting drunk, doing magic tricks, or fucking like...
Have you ever levitated?
Actually, yes. Hold on.
Okay, hold on. We hit on something here.
Do you know that story, or that old, like, I don't know if it's a riddle, maybe it's a mantra or a chant.
Maybe it's a rhyme.
A rhyme even. But have you ever heard of the light as a feather, stiff as a board? Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Make it rhyme, though.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board, drunk as a whore, get it together. Light as a feather, stick it as a board. Fuck. Anyways, but all right. So me and my siblings and my cousin and some friends. There's probably like 7 or 8 of us. An odd number, actually. I think there's 3 on one side, 3 on the other. One person laying down, and the whole ritual goes. You have one person laying down with their eyes closed, their arms crossed, and their feet crossed, and 3 of the other people on one side, 3 of the other people on the other side, and we're all kids. We're like 6, 7, 8 years old.
Those are kids.
And you take 2 fingers, you take your index and your middle finger, and you use both of them, and you hold them underneath the person laying down, and everyone around the person's chants, light as a feather, stiff as a board, light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Wait.
And then
what does it have to do with drinking? Were y'all?
You asked me if I levitated. I'm just telling you a
While
story.
you were drinking, you were like, I did magic tricks, but did you levitate?
Oh, no, never mind.
Okay.
No, we just made it one of my
we
relatives
made a
levitate.
whole person levitate.
We did. But
And
anyways.
we're just gonna broadcast it.
Anyways.
Alcohol, dude. So why do you think they call alcohol spirits? Did you do any research into this? Like, why do they?
I don't know. That is a good question. Before we find out the answer, let's try to ponder the answer ourselves.
Oh, let's do that. So
why do you think alcohol is called spirits?
So let's get spiritual about it, because that's what spirits are about. No, but seriously.
Ooh, okay. I got it. I got the answer. Okay, go ahead.
Hold on, pause. I'm like viciously hitting the pause, but I'm like, hold on, I got this. So, alcohol, it definitely teleports us. It transforms us to this plane. And such as you were talking about it being a tool earlier, it can definitely be something that destroys.
Right.
And something that destroys can also be a tool. Like, it all fits in the same realm.
Right. Like a hammer.
Like a hammer, dude. A hammer can pound a nail, or it can tear down a wall to build up some more shit.
It was so eloquently put, then all of a sudden it was just like, yeah.
Like a hammer.
Like a hammer.
But
yeah, man.
Spirits, man. So it takes you to another plane. It transforms your original sense of reality.
Yes.
It transforms you from this person and then it kind of opens up doors in your own mental landscape, your psyche.
Yes.
Your psyche, as it will.
You take the mask off.
You take the mask off and you either turn into an asshole or you just reveal who you are, because you know what? Sometimes it can be really difficult to admit who you really are, because those vulnerabilities, man, people really feel like you've got to put up a wall against. Like, I can't let this guy know I have feelings, dude. I'll fight you. I'll punch you in the dick before I let you know I cry sometimes.
Right. I get that.
But it's that spirit. So you got to think that whenever it comes to that point, it isn't you anymore. It's that dissociation that this spirit, you were drinking this alcohol. This wouldn't have come up if I wasn't drinking these spirits. These spirits, they got me feeling some type of way.
It released your spirit.
Spirits. You're drinking some kind of spirit.
All right. Well, I think I've already got the answer here, but I already knew what I was going to say prior to that. And what I was going to say was very similar to what you were going to say. I feel like they call it spirits because your spirit is your internal you, and your internal you is masked behind your intent. It's masked behind your purpose. It's masked behind your fears. It's masked behind all of the things that, your presentation even, right? Your true self comes out when you drink, and I think your true self is your spirit. So I think that they call it spirits because it releases your spirit.
So there are no shields. There's no layers hiding what your spirit really wants.
Okay, so before we dive into what the actual definition and meaning behind alcohol being called a spirit is, let's take a short news break.
Oh, shit. Breaking news.
Breaking news brought to you by the Based Banter Podcast. This is Based News.
Welcome to Based News. On today's episode of the news edition of the Based Banter Podcast, we have some news about a skydiver dangling from a plane's tail. A skydiver in Australia miraculously survives after his parachute became entangled on the plane's tail, leaving him dangling at 15,000 feet. He used a hook knife to cut himself free and sustained only minor leg injuries. Talk about a free-falling experience. He was part of the Mile High Club. Good for him.
And in other news, a man sings Christmas songs for over 42 hours to break the world record. Have you ever wanted to know what a masochist looks like? And a sadist.
In other news, a woman gives birth in self-driving taxi. A woman in San Francisco delivered her baby in the back of a driverless Waymo taxi, making the vehicle a temporary birthing center. She'll be forced to name this child AI. Talk about artificial intelligence.
And in more optimistic news, a 92-year-old grandmother wins a Tekken 8 tournament in Japan. Talk about getting your ass cooked by your mother.
Speaking of AI,
Sure.
Expedition 33 loses its Game of the Year awards due to its usage of AI. That is an underwhelming excuse considering most video games use some form of AI. Talk about a cop-out. This here has been a farce and we reject that. Expedition 33 is Game of the Year in our book. This has been Base News. Thank you for listening.
All
Alright, that was Based News.
That was some base news,
That
man.
was some Based News. So, we were talking a little bit about what it means to... What does spirits mean, right?
Why is alcohol called spirits, man?
Why is alcohol called spirits?
Okay, so I have heard many people say, oh, if I drink dark liquor, it makes me mean. Or, just like the inverse of like any sort of like situation like that. And buddy, I've got to tell you. So there was a study conducted to where scientists concluded that whatever alcohol you drink, it invokes an emotional reaction. And it brings you back to the place to whenever you first drank that alcohol. So what does that mean to you, buddy? So if you...
Are we going to answer this question, or are we going to dive deep into my persona and backstory?
You're the host. We want to know all of the nitty-gritty.
Dude, for me, I don't ever have that kind of thing happen to me, right? Like, I don't hold any kind of, like, response to alcohol as part of like a predisposition or a historical representation of a past time that I've had with alcohol. Dude, I just enjoy myself. I'm a fun drunk. I'm a happy drunk.
So no matter what somebody hands you, they're like, okay, this is tequila, this is dark liquor, this is vodka, this is rum, this is
I think that
gin.
That comes from the innate response that I am aware of the person that I am. I've said it before on here, and it's condescending to say, but I truly believe that I'm a good person.
Condescend on them. Look down on them and be like, I'm up here.
I'm a good dude, man. I'm a good dude. I'm a friendly dude.
He's a really good dude.
I love everybody. I even love the bad people, and I try my very best to give more positive to this world than there is negative. Doesn't matter if I'm drunk or not. In fact, if I'm drunk, I might even be a little bit more positive. So that does not apply to me.
There is nobody I would rather call my best friend than you, buddy, because you share this perspective of adding that positive into the world, because it is such a hard fucking world.
It is, dude.
We are playing on fucking no mercy.
Right.
And it gets a little bit harder whenever you don't have anybody. And that positivity, man, it is such a good, refreshing take on things.
Right, man.
Because, dude, So alcohol for some people can be that release to where they're like, okay, well, I've done good. Now here's my chance.
Right.
But also, like I talked too about like being in tune with your emotions and all that, boring and disciplining shit. But whenever you get to that point to where you're like, okay, well, it's my buddy, dude, let's have some drinks, let's get loose, let's have a good ass time.
Yeah, you get comfortable, and then the truth comes out.
The truth comes out, and that can be good or bad. That can have its own implications, but
Yes.
dude, I think it's amazing that there can be such a spectrum of the good and the bad.
Now, I will say it's not always good. There was one day we did a Patreon exclusive back in our pre-post days, back when we drank a little bottle called E&J.
Was that the E&J session?
The E&J session. Wow.
Dude, we hyped E&J up on the episode. We did a little ad read for him.
So drunk.
You want to tell him about the ad read?
Listen, first of all, I don't remember half of that night because I got so drunk. I was belligerent. I got possessed by a demon. I was like, I'm the demon that lives inside Joey. And I was
like the good friend I was. I hit record and I was like, hey, what's up?
And then I threw my Taco Bell against the wall. And that is something I would never do.
That's sacrilegious.
Sacrilegious. But that was an instance where even me, someone who believes that I'm a positive influence on this world, can be negatively influenced by the spirits. So, what does it mean when we call them spirits?
Yes.
So, according to Google, they call distilled alcohol spirits because early alchemists thought the distillation process captured the spirit, a vital essence of the original substance, like the breath of life from the Latin word spiritus. This potent vaporized essence was separated and collected and then seen as the soul or life force of the liquid, leading to names like aqua vitae, the water of life, and eventually just spirits for distilled liquors like whiskey, gin, and vodka. So they believed that by calling it spirits was essentially saying that we captured the spirit of the liquid itself and we're drinking spirits. We're drinking ghosts, buddy.
If there was a drink that marketed and sold itself as drinking the spirit of somebody, I'm not sure I would want to drink it because, you know what, spirit should be free. I believe a good spirit, man, has the freedom to go and haunt whoever the fuck it wants. But
was that a half Donald Trump fucking impression?
Dude, I unironically impersonate him all the fucking time.
You know, I think America should have a whiskey water cooler in every workplace. I think water should be replaced with Crown Royal, and that would drive our productivity up 120 million%. That was my Donald Trump impersonation.
Did you just start a cult? What was that? No, but yeah, unironically, I started using some of the tactics that he uses because you know what? Sometimes, you know what? If it's working and it convinces a lot of people to listen to the bullshit that he says, well, maybe the bullshit that he says could have a little bit of substance. And that substance today, buddy, is alcohol, man. Dude, there are a lot of warnings with alcohol, and you have to take it seriously.
Yes, you can die from drinking alcohol, right? You can drink too much and it will kill you.
Dude, alcohol poisoning kills a lot of people, and even after you have drank, like even if you drank like a reasonable amount and you are to the point of like puking and passing out, it is on the responsibility. You have to trust the people around you. Don't go drinking in a place to where you know either A, there's nobody around you, or B, people that don't care about you, because I have heard so many stories of somebody being left out in the cold, dying of hypothermia after a night of drinking, or somebody drinking by themselves and choking on their own vomit.
Dude, okay. We're touching on a dark subject here, and I'm going to share an anecdotal story with you. I'm going to drop my tone a little bit. Get a little serious here.
He's going to drop the tone.
Because there was a point in my life not too long ago where I was at death's door, knocking, begging for death to let me in. I just lost everything. I lost my career in professional wrestling. I lost my girlfriend. I lost my home. I was homeless. I was drinking every single day 2 or 3 huge bottles of wine and beer. And one day I threw up in my sleep. And I woke up with throw up and vomit still in my mouth and all over my shirt. Thank the gods I'm a side sleeper because being a pro wrestler, my back hurts when I sleep. And I sleep on my side, so luckily I threw up all over myself on the bed and didn't actually choke to death. But some celebrities weren't so lucky. I have a list here for you if you're curious. I think we all know some of these.
Before you dive into that, man, I want to say it is such a blessing that you are here with us still today. And that that just serves the warning I give, man, because, dude, it could happen to anybody. Anybody.
Doesn't matter how good you are. Doesn't matter how smart you are. Doesn't matter how careful you are.
And you know what? If you want to dive into that philosophical topic a little bit more, I hosted an episode about the just world theory. And you know what? There's a bias, man, where we think people deserve stuff a little bit more. And the idea of deserve is just a concept, man. It's just a begging.
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, regardless, what you were going to say.
So, you know, I've kind of related my experience with almost passing due to alcohol consumption. We have some celebrities who have also passed due to alcohol consumption. And some of these celebrities include Amy Winehouse. She died from alcohol intoxication. We have Bon Scott, AC/DC. He choked on his own vomit, which is almost what happened to me. You have Jeff Hanneman, who's from Slayer, alcohol-related liver cirrhosis. You know, these people, they passed because they allowed their addictions and their comfort in the spirits to take over them, and they succumbed to the poison. And they were gone far too soon, dude. And I think that the overall message that we should give to the listeners today is that while there are some dark and gloomy sides to alcohol, and there are some positive sides to alcohol, that every single person on this planet should drink responsibly, should be consciously aware and have someone present. And if you're dealing with depression and anxiety and you're coping with alcohol, to seek help. Do not find that help at the bottom of a bottle, dude, because you don't want to find yourself in the shadow realm, banished because Yugi fucking sent you there. You drank too much alcohol and now you're no longer a biological organism and you live in a different dimension, right?
It is definitely imperative that you have everything right in your own psyche before you seek out alcohol, because alcohol can enhance the good sides, but it can also enhance that bad side. And then before you know it, you're overwhelmed. And there's a 20-foot demon over there about to slap you across the face. And we're only like, 5-6 feet tall?
Dude, what? yeah, man. You don't want that.
That's exactly it. So
you don't want that.
You don't want that. So
you don't want that.
Drink responsibly. Get help. Get help. It is not a coping mechanism. If you feel at all in the slightest that you are using alcohol to cope with your feelings, please take a step back and realize that alcohol is not the answer to your feelings. Feel your feelings. Look, we have a bunch of other episodes about this if you can't reach out to mental health, like professional mental health. But feel your feelings, man. Like, realize that no feeling is permanent. It's all temporary.
Yes.
And once you give those feelings permanence and you feel them, they can go. Don't let them overstay their welcome, because they aren't welcome.
They're not, dude. And you know what, dude? There are options out there. You can go what is it, AA, AAA, Alcohol's Anonymous. You go to AA.
Put in a bunch of A's in your alcohol.
you can go get help from them. You can dial 988, which is a suicide.
You can dial 911. A police officer will come out and talk to you.
For sure, they will. 988 is a suicide and crisis lifeline. Those people don't just deal in suicide. They will help you deal with your problems, dude. I know this took a heavy and dark turn, and it's a gloomy topic, but dude, sometimes the most difficult things to talk about are the most important things to talk about. We've made a lot of jokes today,
dude, and what an important topic to talk about, because we are people that are able to make light of it because we have done that work.
Yes,
because
that's what
we are. Two people solid in our psyches to where we can drink and have fun and use it as a tool to enhance our fun.
That's what I'm here for, baby. I'm just your court jester. I'm just a dude who's a dude pretending to be a dude who's trying to make you laugh and feel better about yourself and provide you with tools to help you be a better you, to be a better people.
To be a better people.
That's what it's all about, dude, here at the Based Banter Podcast. That's why I wanted to talk about such a heavy and interesting topic as alcohol, dude.
And you know what, buddy, dude, I had an amazing time talking about this because we got to bring up some interesting stories. We got to talk about the cure to some hangovers, because the cure is prevention, son.
Ooh, and whiskey dick, dude. Can't forget about whiskey dick.
You can't forget about whiskey dick. So you know what, everybody, every single one of our awesome, amazing, wonderful, beautiful listeners, take care of yourselves.
Take care of yourselves.
Alcohol will not, but it can enhance the good times, but
and
only
you know
if
what?
you're having a good time.
And just like in the Japanese culture, dude, you can use you can use alcohol. Sorry,
you can use Japanese to speak to Japanese people.
You can use alcohol as a tool, and it is not all bad, dude. It is a social lubricant. Use it sparingly, and if you can't handle that, then don't use it at all. And you know what? If you need somewhere to turn, if you need someone to help lift you up, if you need some place to go to feel better about yourself, or to just have a little bit of a laugh and get a little bit of knowledge, the Based Banter Podcast is always here for you. We put out new episodes every Monday or Tuesday, depending on the week and depending on the holidays. You can always find us on our Instagram at Based Banter Podcast and at Facebook Based Banter Podcast. We also have a Twitter account, or X rather, Based Banter Pod. And if you want to pop in on my Twitch channel, the Twitch stream name is Arcano Joe. If you have problems you want to talk about, you can come on there and talk with me, dude. I'll talk with you all night long for 12 hours straight. If you want to, you can follow Jerry at Jerry Contrite on Instagram, where he posts some of his antics that he gets up to and some of the music that he's doing and some of the other bullshit that Jerry does. If you want to add some more to that, Jerry, I don't want to butcher your plug.
Hold on, wait. I want to interject on your plug and say, go hijack his stream with all of your problems.
All of them.
Every single one of them. Even if they're menial, even if they're mundane, go ahead and be like, dude, my cat won't stop fucking scratching me.
I stubbed my toe,
I stubbed my fucking toe. It still hurts. This was 3 weeks ago.
I'll love all of it, too.
Dude, let him fucking know.
I promise you that. And send Jerry all of the photos of all of the infected sores on your body. Send him pictures.
I feel like that's slightly worse than what I was asking people to do for you.
I want you to send Jerry pictures of your empty alcohol bottles and tell him that you're trying and that you're doing better. I want you guys to just follow us, like and subscribe, and keep in touch with us. And then always tune in, give us comments, send us a Gmail, go to our YouTube Based Banter Podcast, go to our Spotify Based Banter Podcast, like and subscribe and follow. And as always, please keep the conversation going. This has been another amazing, insightful, and thought-provoking episode of the Based Banter Podcast. My name is Joey, and with me again, as always, is Jerry. Thank you guys for listening, and peace out.
Peace.